to Mindset Transformations Radio Show with your host, Coach Myrna. Do you feel the need to do more with your life? Are limiting beliefs holding you back from true success? Enjoy a unique blend of interviews, discussions, and transformation coaching in every show. Get the tools for success. The Mindset Transformation Radio Show with your host, Coach Myrna.
Welcome to the Mindset Transformation Radio Show and Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Myrna Young, and today I am so excited to be talking to international best-selling author Ilona Selke. Ilona is traveling the U.S. directly from Bali, where she spends 7 months of the year. So envious. And Ilona is promoting her new book, Dream Big, The Universe is Listening. Welcome, Ilona. I am going to enjoy our conversation today. Welcome.
Yes, welcome. Welcome from the Pacific Northwest, where we have sunshine and an eagle nesting in front of our house right here he's perching over looking for fish to catch. While I'm having breakfast on the balcony in the sunshine, he was looking over for his lunch. So anyways, wow. Yes, welcome. Hi there. Good morning, good afternoon to anybody listening and joining us. Maybe even good night.
Yeah, that is awesome. A very nice picture you painted there. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, I want to introduce our topic by saying that you're not going to believe how the universe is listening to me.
Yes. All right. Tell me.
Well, today we're going to be talking about shifting your reality in the quantum matrix. And I meditate every morning, and then I go walking, and then I meditate some more, and I listen to podcasts. So this morning I was listening to the Hay House World Summit podcast, and the guest was Dr. Bruce Lipton. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember the book that he wrote, but he was setting up that, the quantum mechanics or the quantum field is the foundation for all sciences. He's saying that the quantum field or quantum mechanics is on the bottom, and then we have chemistry, and we have biology. And basically he was saying that, in the olden days, they would, give you medicine for just the body. But now the medicines don't work with just the body. It has to be with all the sciences, the chemistry and the biology and all that. And I came back from my meditation and I put a note in my journal that says, you know what? I need to read some more quantum books. And then I came to go over our show notes, and I noticed that that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Isn't that amazing?
I'm going to fast track my learning today talking to you.
Yes, your universe is communicating. Actually, Bruce Lipton's book, it's called Biology. Yes, well, I've been at the Hay House Summit as well. His name is Bruce Lipton. The book title is Biology of Belief, and he talks what he calls epigenetics. He talks about the effects of the environment on our DNA, but also how our thoughts and emotional environment affects the expression of our DNA. So he says, two people with identical DNA strands could create totally different outcomes. So DNA is maybe a script for the potential. But my husband and I work in the field of radionics as well. We have a device which is truly a quantum future device where you utilize the pictures, let's say an aerial picture or of a plant, and then you analyze the informational field, which was discovered in the last century, but by Maxwell. He said, on top of electromagnetic waves, we have what he calls scalar fields. Now, if you Google scalar by different branches is described as different things. But that's what Bruce Lipton is also saying. The DNA is capable of holding and tapping into a field.
Yeah, he was also talking about that. Like, he wrote several books. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so he said you tap into the field. Now, if we can learn how to direct the DNA to tap into a particular field of our choice, how cool would that be? Wow. And that is what his studies are about. I highly recommend his book, Bruce Lipton, Biology of Belief. He comes from a very more scientific point of view. I write about quantum physics, and we'll get into that also, because quantum physics joined all the mystics. Now, quantum physics has one real solid experiment which was supposed to prove this whole thing wrong. Einstein called it the EPR experiment because him and Podolsky and Rosen came up with this theoretical experiment that was going to once and for all prove everybody wrong. There is no spooky universe, and then he found out there is. And and this was confirmed in 1984 in the Maryland experiment. I could have been 82, 84, and where what they found out is then when they take a photon and a split photon and send it in opposite directions at the speed of light, they can measure one, let's say the A photon, to act a certain way. B will act just like A did when they are opposite, when they look for it. Now, they seem to be communicating at twice the speed of light. Look it up, EPR experiment. It's all over Wikipedia. You can educate yourself. It's the one cornerstone which I would say quantum physics and they've done tons of other experiments and lots of others to prove that there is a field that is faster than the speed of light. We had scientists discover it, Maxwell, if you look him up, in the 1800s, but science conveniently eliminated it. We had the concept of the ether. Science doesn't think that fits our neat concept of the universe. So what we're taught currently in universities in general, and what permeates our mindset, is a truncated understanding of reality. The old seers, the old psychics, the old yogis, the rishis in India, they all taught us that life is like a dream and can be influenced by the dreamer. And the old people, the wisdom people knew it. The rishis who had abilities to see into the future and into the past knew it. Now science finally joins the ranks, and they're still battling it. They're still debating it, but more and more in popular scientific, even Elon Musk, you'll find them saying, I think we live in a matrix. I think somebody's programmed this, and we're trying to figure out the key to that formula, so we can shift things around. That's what my book is about, how to interact with the quantum universe. So I'm going to give you step-by-steps and how to meditate in a way that you really make changes, not just feel peaceful.
Awesome. Well, what a great introduction. Love that. So we're off to a rocket start. Yes. And, just touching back on that a little bit as well. I think I read somewhere, like I said, I listen to all these podcasts, listen to all these people talking about this because I'm very interested in the topic. And, I know what you're talking about with Einstein when he did that
EPR
experiment on the train, right, where the A's and the B's or whatever. I read because I read his autobiography. But also I love the fact that you talked about the Matrix. And, someone was saying that when we looked at that movie, The Matrix, that it looks like science fiction, but we could be in something similar to that. But all right, so we'll get into that.
Yeah,
yes, exactly.
And it's a matter of fact. The subtitle of my book, it's called Dream Big. The universe is listening.
Yeah.
now, I know we have all these religions across the world, and no matter who they believe the right version of God is, there is only one source, right? Let's just be honest. If there were multiple sources, we'd have a war on our hands. It's like, no, there's one source, and that source multiplies itself, and then humans interpret it differently, which is all right. We're all slightly different. And religions teach us that we need to communicate with the source, and we need to tell the source what we want. And what I love, right? Yes, exactly. And Greg Braden wrote a book about the prayers of the Essenes, and Greg Braden, another great scientific mind who connects the multidimensional understanding of quantum understanding to the physical. Greg Braden, he says in his book about the Essene prayers, he says they said how to pray correctly is like this. And I'm going to give you the formula so all of us can go home and do it right. Pray as if you have already succeeded in your prayer. Pray as if you've received, even in the Bible they say it. So that is part of the steps which I describe, and I describe stories of what people have done, how they've done it, and what miracles they created. So let's just go, maybe whenever you ask me to, I'll go through the steps of how to formulate your prayer, if you want to pray, or if you meditate, your visualization, in such a way that the universe can decode your message. Because the universe has a
Beautiful.
way, because it has its own language, and we don't need to learn a computer language. Luckily, we are endowed with a language, but most of us do it incorrectly. So I want to help everybody do it in a way that the universe will start listening to them.
Awesome. All right. Well, we've got off to an excellent start. So let me let you know that today's episode is being sponsored by TY Waterproofing, serving the Atlanta area. And TY Waterproofing has over 30 years experience in waterproofing and basement repairs. Let TY Waterproofing waterproof your crawl spaces, slabs, remove and kill mold, install pumps, and French drains. Call Timothy at 404-449-5467 for a free estimate. Now you have already heard a lot from my guest today, Miss Ilona Selke, but let me give you a little bit of her background. She's obviously very knowledgeable and very passionate about the work that she does. Ilona is an international best-selling author, seminar leader, lecturer, musician, CEO, and co-founder of Living from Vision. Ilona has inspired thousands of people worldwide to discover the power of their consciousness and to create a successful life. Ilona has written 4 books, produced 25 music and meditation CDs, co-authored 2 books, one with Brian Tracy and one with Jack Canfield. She also has been a regular guest on A&E Bravo TV with Jack Canfield, and a producer and TV show host for Quantum Living Show on Women's Broadcast TV. I love your bio. I mean, I hope to do all the things that you have done one day. I'm just crawling now, but maybe if I understand this quantum field a little better, maybe I can have it happen faster.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So one of the things I always like to start off my guests is asking them about their backstory. You know, what led you to become so passionate about the work that you do? Was it something that you started as a child, or you had an event in your life that transferred you there? What's your backstory?
Okay, all right. So I had German parents, a mom and dad who decided, German people, live abroad, smell the world, and they traveled and lived in the Middle East, worked there, then eventually went to Afghanistan and worked there. And I was born there. But when my mom was pregnant with me, she traveled through India for 3 months with my dad, figuring it's the last long vacation they had. Well, she always said to me she thinks she picked up my soul from India. And if you see me today, I always paint that little bindi, that spot on my third eye. And honestly, I not only believe, I know we have multiple lives. We have past lives, we have future lives. And we can tap into that knowledge. And it comes to people when they meditate regularly and go high enough in their frequency. The information is stored in that big, vast field we call the informational field nowadays. Like I mentioned, Maxwell called it the scalar field. But when I grew up, my mom learned yoga and she learned meditation, and so she taught me that. Well, then my father died, and she had to become from housewife to somebody, and decided she's going to go back to university. Well, what's she going to do with the 2 little kids? What she decided to do is become a teacher of religion, and went to seminars and had to go to trainings. Like, I remember she dragged us to Italy once, to the Tyrolean mountains, and we were there. I looked at the mountains, but I also sat in with these adult people all studying to be seminar leaders. And, imagine 4 years old, you sit there and they talk about, you get up, you do this, they do role plays, you watch. Then again, my mom takes me, when she's starting to work, to all the seminars she's teaching. And I'm watching her teach. She lets me sit in. I raise my hand when she says, does somebody have a question or an answer? I raise my hand. I'm like going, why is nobody else raising their hand, I couldn't do that. I'm the only smart. I'm like 10 years old, So then I'm 14, 10 years old. I've already figured out, I want to be like Genie, heck with, the universe has to be figured out. And if Genie on the TV show, mind you, can do magic, well, then so should I.
Oh,
And
wow.
Aladdin and the Wonder Lamp, he did miracles. So, it just seemed really reasonable that I should be able to do that too. Well, I set out to figure out how to talk to this universe. And one of the things I observed regularly is that whenever I said, I don't want this and know that, that's what I got. So, can you imagine? I was so delighted to figure out that I recognized by now one definite law of the universe, which was I got what I didn't want. All right. So I'm...
You're telling this story very nicely.
and you know what? How many people of us think of what we don't want? Oh, and my husband does this, and I don't like that, and I don't want to yell at my kids, and I hate this, and da 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 da. Well, I'm going to ask you to not think of a pink elephant. Can you do that? Don't think of a pink elephant.
No.
I want to know what is in your head right now.
Pink elephant, right? Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So I figured out the universe. If I say I don't want a bicycle for my Christmas gift, guess what the universe is going to give me? Yes, you had it. Because what did I have to visualize when I said I don't want a bike?
You visualized the bike, right?
Yep.
So were you saying that you were doing this on purpose, or you were asking for you? I'm not getting it. You did it on purpose?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I figured out the universe has a law, which is it gives me what I don't want. So this one Christmas, I said, let me practice. Let me prove it to myself. And so I am now talking to the universe, and I say, don't dare give me a bicycle for Christmas. No bicycle. No bicycle. But, the universe does not hear no's. It does not hear what we don't want, but what remains in our attention.
Get what you think about most of the time, right? Yes.
Yep. And the thing is, whatever you have strong feelings about, make matters more complex, but we can use this now. After all, I did grow up and figured out it wasn't the no bicycle that I had to say. I had to say I want a bicycle, but I had to imagine this bicycle. And as a matter of fact, I was so sure it was going to happen. I was doing what the Essenes did well. I prayed like the Essenes were told to pray back then, which was pray as if you have already received your prayer.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So in my mind, I was sure that because I'd seen this work so often that I was sure the universe had listened to me, was going to give me what I wanted. I just wanted to prove it to myself. So if in some way you can have a goal and you can visualize it, describe it clearly in positive terms, and then visualize it as if it's happening, and then feel it as if it has already happened, like it's a done fact, fait accompli. Finished. I'm in it. I'm in that dream. That's when the universe can deliver to you. Now, what I like to do is, because I think, my little human frail self, my ego, who knows what, may be a little bit fallible. And if I want a big castle, maybe God or the universe has a different plan. Maybe I can say, I want to be in that big castle. I can see myself in it. I should say something I really want. I want, whatever, millions of listeners, let's say, millions of listeners.
That's what I want.
So let's just visualize all these people who are sitting on this planet listening. They are ignited, they are excited, and there are others who are also listening right now. Millions of them. They are listening, and we are one. We are all vibing together. It's not just one here in the neighborhood and one there. We are collectively, globally, a large group of people, and we are all building the new world. We are shifting the paradigm together, and we are millions, and we are listening, and we are taking the lessons and making them real in our daily life to prove to ourselves and our family that this universe, that this paradigm is really living. So this is what I did when I was 10 years old. I just had to learn about changing that no factor. And then when I was 14, I said, okay, I'm going to go teach the world to be creative. And so I always say, when you do, make sure you always add that little sentence that says, for the highest good. For the highest good, or God, if you have a better plan, let's do it.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes. So those are already some 3 easy steps. Describe what you want in a positive way, imagine it, and then feel it as if you have already arrived, and allow yourself 5 minutes. The luxury of being in your fulfillment, 5 minutes. Millions of people, just feel it for 5 million. How would you feel right now if you had 5 million listeners listening to you?
I'll feel right now giddy. Yes, just like that. And you know something? I am, like I said, I'm well learned, and I listen to podcasts. If I want something, I go on YouTube, and one of the first things that I did when I started this podcast was go on YouTube and try to get ideas. And I came across this one guy. I don't remember his name, but he said he's a meditation teacher as well, and he said that before he did his broadcast, he just sat and had the intention that that he was going to at least help one person with his meditation. He's going to at least reach one person, and he has the intention to reach. He just set out his intention that he wanted to reach people, and just like that, his YouTube videos went into the millions. So I do exactly the same thing. I didn't take it to the one step further that you just did. Imagine I'm having 5 million listeners or something, but I sit down before I start off, and I have the intention that I want to reach the world. I do.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. You know what? We need to be, and I remember my book got translated into German, the Wisdom of the Dolphin books, and I talked about the course Living from Vision in that book. And the course Living from Vision is talks about how to live from vision and how to manifest. So my translator had quite a good name and a reputation already, and he wanted to make sure that what he translated was really worthwhile. So he asked me to give him the course for free and for him to test it, because he wanted to be sure he translated and expressed well what this was about. In every translation you can send it either in a more positive or negative direction with just small little words. So he took the course. My sister was already a teacher. She was teaching it in Germany, and this was back in 1996, something in that range, 67, in 97. So he's taking this course right now with her, and she says, and he's like, I've written my own book and I want to get it published. And she said, okay. He says, she says, how much money do you want to get? Okay, he gave her a number. On what date do you want to receive the check? She was like, he put a date down, He even described who. He said even, I want it from this company, a big renowned company. Now, because maybe my sister had seen all these results, she had done it since 1991, so she had plenty of backlog and trust that this works. So she walks him through it, and he's like, okay, I'll do it. And then we have an app with it, and you do these exercises every morning and evening. As a matter of fact, at the end of the show, I'm going to give a free app away to everybody who wants to start focusing their day in a positive way and ending their day on gratitude. So stay tuned.
Awesome.
So he did it for 5 weeks. Then she got a phone call. She said on one day, and he said, "Guess what? The day that he declared he wanted to get a contract, he got the contract for a book publisher for his book for the amount that he said he wanted." The only thing that was different, it was a different company, equally big, equally good, but a different name. And we always say, please always turn it over to the universe to coordinate in the best way possible. This or that. Yeah.
You just want to tell them the end result and let them decide the journey, right?
Yeah.
So that is, and I know in your book you tell some stories. So is that one of the stories that's in your book?
No, that's not one of the stories. But it's like I have so many millions of stories, but the ones I write about in the book are either my own, some are totally mind-bending, time-space bending, like the one about, that was also about the airplane.
Oh my God, we're just so in sync. I just did a class called Bending Reality because I want to learn how to do that, and you're talking about that too, so that's awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're going to take our first break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to dive into your book. dream big, the universe is listening, because, we're very interested to learn some more tools.
How to
I
do
love
it, yes.
the describe, imagine, see it one, and I've written that down. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Your basement walls play a critical role in supporting your property's structure and protecting your home from the outside elements. Waterproofing your basement prevents the accumulation of water from rain that can lead to flooding, mold, and mildew growth around and under your floors. If left unaddressed for long, your property may be at risk for serious structural damage that will negatively affect its resale value. So, don't delay. Call Timothy today at 404-449-5467. TY Waterproofing has over 30 years experience in waterproofing basements. TY Waterproofing will waterproof and repair your basements, your crawl spaces, slabs, remove and kill the mold that accumulates from dampness, install sump pumps and French drains to get out any water that's in there right now. TY Waterproofing, serving the Atlanta area, licensed and insured, all work warranted. So, again, call Timothy today at 404-449-5467 and get your basement waterproofed.
As a matter of fact, getting a book contract was in the book. I just on the spot couldn't remember it.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. All right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but it was.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
It's
but
in the book.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good.
Okay.
All right. Well, welcome back to the second segment of the Transform Your Mind podcast with Coach Myrna and the Mindset Transformation Radio Show. As today, we are definitely getting into the mind. We're getting into the transformation of your mind. We're getting into what my vision was for guests on the show. So we're talking today to Ilona Selke, and she is a best-selling international author. And as she told you from her bio, that she has been saturated in this space since she was 4 years old, or maybe even younger. So in her book, Dream Big, The Universe is Listening, I want to give you a little synopsis of it, and then we're going to dive in a little deeper. In her book, Ilona takes you into a journey into the greater mystery of the universe. She takes you step by step, as she mentioned earlier, through fascinating stories on how to manifest your goals and dreams. At the same time you dream big, you create a better life for yourself and the planet. We are living in a consciousness interactive universe. For you to become the master of your destiny, you need to dive into your subconscious mind and reach into your super consciousness. Travel with Ilona across the globe and into other levels of consciousness as she describes in easy-to-follow steps just how magical life really is. You will come away inspired and equipped to make your dreams come true and create a better life for yourself on the planet. Now, Ilona is going to give you her website later on, but just want to mention it here. It's www.ilonaselke.com. So, we've already given us so much. So I want to, tag on to what we've spoken to about so far. And I want to ask the question, what is the biggest lesson you think that readers can take from the concept of dreaming big?
Oh, my God. It's how to do it. From the concept, dreaming big just itself, I've had people who just take the book and go, oh, my God, I've let myself become small. I've let myself just react to what life's dishing out, all the demands, and I've forgotten to dream. I've forgotten to listen to my own self. So sometimes just holding the book in their hands without opening a page, they've gone to, I want to remember to take time for myself and to dream again, because as kids maybe we had dreams of who and what we wanted to do. And then some of them, got either fulfilled, or we get kids and get stuck at home, or as a woman, or, do the providing job thing and feel like we're trapped in a rut. And that's when we need to take time and to dream, to think about, to listen to our soul, to our heart, and to step back out of the buzz out of our life, and to step back and to do what's really meaningful to us. Now, as I said, I'm going to give away a free app that will guide people, guide you, the listener. You can every day do this for 12 minutes, even if you just do that. You start setting up a habit where your soul and heart, your spirit will start saying, thank you for listening to me. It'll start giving you nudges. It'll start coordinating things for you. People will call you at the right time. I've had people who walk into a bookstore and my book literally fell into their lap, and they were looking for for people to host on their big conferences. That's how I wound up.
So you're obviously doing the work, huh?
Well, I think the universe does the work. We live in a co-vibration universe. Like you put out a frequency field, and anything that matches it will come in. Now, I have to tell you, one of my secret beliefs, and I hate to admit it, is that unfortunately, the mass number of people are more interested in soap operas and dramas and disasters rather than making their lives better. So I have this, and I admit it, the smaller number of people in my mind, but that's really, I should change that and assume that more and more people they've had it, they are excited about making a difference in their own lives. And without having to become an evangelist or a Muslimist or whatever, you don't have to follow any big religion. You can just simply tune into the universe, which I call, the universe, the source, and start your own conversation. Start it by sitting down and saying, look, if there's anybody out there, I know how to talk to you, and this is the language of imagery and feeling fulfilled. You go set up a conversation with this higher force. And then if you have a desire, a wish, a need, a dream, something you want to contribute to the world, you want to become, you want to have, because let's say you need a certain amount of money every month, right? Beyond that, you may think, hell, I need I need to be able to travel the world. I need to travel other countries. I need to see other cultures to expand my horizon. That's what I really want and need. And the universe says, okay, if we catch ourselves in saying, well, I really want to travel the world, but, and then in your heart you feel these, I have responsibilities, I don't want to leave, whatever, I'm afraid, maybe I get sick or whatever, all our buts. They are the reasons why we stay where we are.
You stay stuck, right? Yeah, because you're giving conflicting information. You're saying, yes, I want it, but then you're saying, well, no, I don't want it because of that. That is very true. Very true.
But, and that those little voices are usually not that loud. We feel them. We try to ignore them. We try to say, no, I'm not really thinking that, am I? And in my book, I give techniques of how to deal with those little butts and gnarling voices or those tight feelings in the tummy, because they are at first our blockages, but later on that block becomes our stepping stone. And when we talk to our negative emotions in a way that makes them feel these emotions as if they're independent little things that live, they go, you knock on their door and you go, oh, hello, and they stick their nose out and say, oh, somebody's looking at me. And then, who doesn't want to have a visitor, You ask, well, what are you doing? And they go like, oh, I'm making a big mess. I know, you say. And then you say, oh, what do you really want? Well, the part that was afraid, honestly, I'm talking like a kid, because the parts of us that are deeply emotional, deeply subconscious, are almost like what we would call the kids. They're energetic. They don't talk like grown-ups. You can't reason with those parts. You can't say, oh, fear, go away, you're stupid, The fear wants you to listen to it and wants you to say, hello, oh, what are you doing? When did you get started? What was the first experience you had in your life like this? And then you can talk to it. I tell you, I am teaching this technique to doctors, therapists, naturopaths, hypnotherapists all over the world, and a lot of them have taken it to substitute the other techniques they used to use because this one really works.
It definitely does. So, yeah, and I like what you said about, there's just so many people that are interested in, because, reality TV shows and sports and the news and things like that, and don't spend any time on proactive work. And I mentioned
proactive.
to you that
right, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the ticket.
Yeah, I wrote my book, Becoming Conscious, My Awakening, about 4 years ago. And that's basically when I started to understand synchrodestiny and quantum mechanics and vision and all the things that you talked about. And I've been on this path. And that's why, and that's one of the reasons, my vision was to have this radio program. And I talk about, transforming your mindset because, that's where it comes from, right?
What's the title of your book?
It's called Becoming Conscious, My Awakening. And that's exactly what happened. I was becoming conscious, yes. And so I've been on this path. Mm-hmm.
I think my Skype just dropped out. Can you repeat that title again?
Sure. Becoming Conscious, My Awakening.
Okay, Becoming Conscious, My Awakening. Cool. I'll look it up. It's on Amazon, right?
It's on Amazon. It's awesome. I write under my my maiden name, which is Trotman, Myrna Trotman. So that's where my books are. Yeah, my books are under that name, so that's good. But let's get into our topic today. And one of the things I wanted to specifically talk to you about is the topic on shifting your reality in the quantum matrix. So we've talked a lot about consciousness. We've talked a lot about vision. We've talked a lot about, you didn't call it by name, but, I know it, the vortex and, what's, it's in your field and range and stuff like that. But how can somebody that's now starting this work understand reality and the quantum? Even me that's been, doing this kind of work for a little while, still don't understand how to combine them together. How does it work, really?
Well, the quantum mindset, and there are 4 different interpretations. So one of them actually allows for the idea that we live in a universe that has parallel dimensions and parallel realities, all coexisting simultaneously. And it having an image of how the universe works, almost if you can grok it, and I like to actually just prove it to myself, do it, follow a recipe, get results. Like Living from Vision, that course, it's 5 weeks. It gives you a recipe, and I love people do it. I train teachers and coaches. We have the course in Chinese. We have students in China, in Czechoslovakia, in Germany, in England, in Spanish, English, Spanish, French, German, Czech, Chinese, and my books are out also in Hindi and in in Polish and Russian. But so we try to go worldwide, and all humans alike, they don't really. Well, I mean, they like to have an idea of how the universe works, but what really matters is getting the brass tacks to work. And those are much easier to develop. The trick to creating a shift in the matrix of time-space is to slowly but surely build up your miracles so that you really feel the universe is listening to you and you know how to talk to it. And you can transform your negative doubts and beliefs, and you can pave the way for the beautiful expression of who you really are. And that's a step-by-step process. But since you're asking me, understanding the quantum matrix, it is, let's just say, in the olden days, we had a metaphor. There was this one long white guy with a weird white beard that was the Western version. They never went to Africa.
Are you talking about Santa Claus?
Right. And they thought that looked like God. They thought that was God.
Right.
Well, these days, the scientists don't even believe in God, but the quantum physicists say, well, there is something weird going on, which implies that there is a greater intelligence at work, and we're all of us right now are trying to develop a new worldview, and quantum physics has lent itself the closest to understanding this new It's a modern way of saying
Okay.
there is a God and there is us.
Okay.
The observer affects the outcome in the laboratory. Now tell me, how can that be? The observer who is looking at the experiment is changing the outcome. Now that is great.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know that too. Yes.
yeah,
I hear that
yeah.
from Deepak. I follow Deepak Chopra. Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I hear those people, like, they say, okay, you look at the glass that's half full or half empty, and for some people it's half full, for the others. That's not the kind of thinking that I'm trying to say. It's not how you look at something that happened. If, let's say, in one of the stories that I actually co-published in the book with Jack Canfield, he's the co-author of Chicken Soup of the Soul.
Right.
So I co-authored. And the chapter about it is really about a mind bender, about flying and landing in a different city, and then me saying, no, dear universe, this has got to be a mistake. We were supposed to land over here. Now we land here. I did my, revisioning and real need expression. Let's just see how this timing goes, because I think we've already talked a lot. But let me just say, I'm sitting there going, like Dorothy, clicking my heels, going, I am no longer I'm in Kansas. No, I was supposed to land in Dulles, Washington, D.C. They rerouted us because of a thunderstorm to Baltimore, Maryland. They announced we land in Baltimore, and I say, no, dear God, this has got to be a mistake. I really need to catch my flight because I'm teaching a dolphin swim seminar in Florida, and I have to get there tomorrow on time. No way around it. But if I go there, then I have to be bused and all these things. Read the whole story in my book, Dream Big, The Universe is Listening, available on Amazon, anywhere in your bookstore, but Amazon always has it. On Kindle, I'm going to change this. The price is only $4.95. The book itself is $19.95. Anyhow, I describe how I close my eyes and talk this mind-bending story through to God, and I basically, the techniques are the same. You become clear on what you want. You imagine what it would look like if it had already happened, and you feel as if it had already happened. So in my body and bones, I was sitting there not only visualizing arriving on time and being in the end result, I'm not occupying myself, but I'm also feeling in my bones, yes, we just landed in Washington, D.C. Now, mind you, that takes a lot of practice. You cannot, I heard Purser saying we landed in Baltimore.
I've been trying it for a while, and I still have not gotten there. It takes a lot of practice.
So what
because you've got to feel the emotion for it to work.
Yeah,
right.
That's it. But what I tell people is start small. I started creating parking lots. Lots of people know how to do that. So start small, and then build your way up. Build your confidence up. And we teach the Living from Vision course. We have it on livingfromvision.com. You can learn step by step how to manifest. And then every year you do it again and again, and over a decade you will get better. I mean, guaranteed. People have created miracles. But let me finish the miracle story. We're in Washington, supposed to go to Washington. We now are landing in Baltimore because of the thunderstorm in Washington, D.C. We land, they announce it, welcome to Baltimore, and I'm like going, wrong, universe, time bending, time. I really feel it. I feel it. I can feel it in my bones. I'm in Washington. And I am, no kidding you, they announced, ladies and gentlemen, we were just informed. I don't know how this happened, so to speak. We are actually we landed in Dulles, Washington, D.C. I mean, how cool is that? So I am stoked. I am like, yes.
Wow. Yes.
So now I've written other stories in my other books, Wisdom of the Dolphins. I wrote a ton of them here, other people's miracles, my own, too. But then I embed the steps of how to get there. The technique is one thing. I can tell you the technique in 4 words, in 4 sentences. Describe what you want, visualize it, and feel it. But you've got to practice. And with the app, I'm going to give away for free in a moment. I am going to help you do this on a daily basis. And mind you, if you practice piano every day, I bet you in 10 years you'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't,
everything
then
starts with practice. Everything.
Exactly.
Yes.
So manifesting is not like, I got it, I can manifest $1 million. No, you have to believe it until the very bones of you believe it. But when you do, it'll be yours. And the universe, and you know what I like to say, all wishes that are in alignment with our higher purpose, our soul's purpose, do manifest.
Will come true. Yes,
Yeah.
will manifest. That's awesome. I'm going to download your book on Kindle myself. So, yes, because, I definitely need some help. I've been working and working and working on this thing for a while, and I'm not, I'm an auditory person, so it's extremely hard for me to visualize. I can get the emotion and I can talk myself through it, but I want to see it in my mind, and I've got to learn to do that.
But I've got a trick for you. Here, let's do this.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are in your shoes. They go, I can't visualize for anything. Okay, so the thing is, some people see clear pictures. Some people are more kinesthetic types. And you maybe are one of them. And I'm going to do a test for you, and you're probably going to come out with flying colors like everybody who's listening in. So do it all with me, okay?
Okay.
I would like you to visualize a tree as best as you can, okay? Just a tree, an ordinary tree. And to one side of the tree, you're going to put, there's a red dog. And to the other side of the tree is a blue dog, okay? Now, I want you to take your index finger that you like the best and point it to the red dog. Just point, go, there it is, red dog over there. Which side did you point to?
Right side.
Okay. Well, honestly, some people have the red dog on the right, some people have it on the left. Now tell me, when you say you can't visualize, how come you knew that the red dog was on the right side of the tree?
I'm not seeing a dog. I can see the tree because I walk and see trees every day, so I think I can pull up a tree, but I'm not seeing the red dog. I'm just
imagining. But how did you know? Yeah, that is exactly it. It's a sense of knowing.
Right, yes.
Okay, so we shift the word visualization from seeing things to just kind of seeing. I'm pretend seeing it there. I can kind of make up. I mean,
well, I can do that. I can pretend to see things because it's in my. So you're telling me that works just as well?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Because some of us, the most important aspect is. I mean, if I say, imagine you're sitting down and having lemonade, as a matter of fact, somebody serves you the lemonade and a good lemon cut open to a quarter and to, be really refreshed. You decide to bite into that lemonade. You take that wedge of lemon and can you imagine, you take it and you bite into it. Yeah.
Okay.
And now,
all right. Okay.
How is it feeling?
I'm getting it.
Sour?
I'm tasting that sour. I'm not actually seeing it, but I am like.
You can imagine it.
I'm thinking of exactly. I'm imagining it in my mind. Listen, I'm a reader, and I cry at movies, and I cry when I see stuff, and I cry in books, so I can get myself in the picture. But you know what I mean is that, what I want to do is see it with my third eye, and it's not happening.
Don't worry. It takes. Let me ask you one question. Did you start salivating more when I asked you to bite into imagining biting into that?
Yeah, I can imagine. I've lived a lot of imaginary stuff, and I visualize every day. I work on it. In fact, I did this course called the Wealth Magnet, and every morning I sit down and I imagine, same thing you're talking about, I imagine different success things, like what my Rolls Royce is going to feel like when I drive it, and what my nice big house is overlooking the mountains is going to feel like, and I do that. But right, yes.
So
all right,
there are two things. When we say visualizing, it means representing to yourself something that is not currently physically in front of you, but that you can put yourself into. So if you can create that and feel the feeling of already doing it. Now, when you say, I'm visualizing myself driving in a Rolls Royce, you giggled. I can tell you that is the part of you that says, I don't have I shouldn't be thinking that, or it's funny, or I'm and I'm feeling embarrassed.
I'm thinking my listeners is going to laugh at me.
Right. So I want to ask you, do you really want to have a Rolls Royce?
Yeah, I do. It's part of my wealth magnet training.
I mean, seriously, wouldn't you rather have a Tesla?
No, I don't know anything about them. I just know that they're good for the environment, I guess.
Okay, you want a real Rolls-Royce, yeah? I mean, you mean it what you say. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, some people say, because I had this client, he was a filmmaker in Germany, and he decided to teach the Living from Vision course in Germany. So the first thing he does is like, hey, I have to prove to my students I can really do a miracle. And he decided, and I'm going to walk you through the steps of how he manifested the car for himself. Okay, maybe it's going to help you. He decided he needed an Audi Cabriolet. He wanted a car that opened, and it was the equivalent of $30,000. And he visualized the following. He sits in the car. He drives with the open roof. His hair is flowing, and he feels like, so awesome.
$1 million.
Yeah, exactly. He feels, and what is most important to him is he feels free, powerful, and creative. And so we asked him, and this is part of the exercise, and he was teaching it and then walking himself through it. We asked the students to create a metaphor, an image that represents the feeling you get when you have your filled feeling. So he had this desire of freedom, of on top of the world. Well, for him, the image that represented that feeling, the metaphor, was a dove, a white dove, flying, a bird.
Okay.
So he didn't visualize the Rolls-Royce. He didn't visualize the Cabriolet. He didn't visualize the Audi. Of course, when he started, we have this app which walks you through. Every day it walks you through imagining the goal and then feeling it and then the metaphor. So we step you through all these steps in the course, how to get there and how to build it up. But what he did is he visualized at the end, he did this every morning, and he visualized a white dove flying. It might have been a seagull, actually. It was a white bird. Now, the white bird represented the feeling of freedom and of having it all, of that. Guess what? Week three into his course, he got a phone call from the lottery company. And they said, we want to inform you, you are getting an Audi Cabriolet. And he said, what color is it? And they said, red. Oh, he said, I wanted a blue one. Well,
that is funny. And he says, well, you know what? Give it back. I don't want it.
No. He said, okay, I'll take a red one.
I know, I'm joking.
He said, yeah, we do have to be careful how we joke. We do have to say what we mean and mean what we say. So because, this is the little trick. We need to take ourselves seriously in every word. Masters speak only the words they mean. Let's be masters. Let's be masterful in our speech. And so he invited me in, and I had to drive in his red Cabriolet Audi to prove to himself that, yes, on me, this is the fruit of him having become a teacher. He decided, and it was in the third week, and it manifested. Now, I just gave you the little bit of extra step, which is the metaphoric thinking, because the universe doesn't think linearly. It thinks globally, and that's what we have to do.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get your book, and I'm going to practice. Of course, you said practice makes you a master, so that's awesome. So let's tell our guests, our listeners, what our contest is for this week. So Ilona is going to give you that will allow you to start manifesting your vision. What I would like you to do in exchange for that is, we want to get this podcast to much more listeners. You heard me talk about I want to have millions of listeners. In order to do that, then we have to, if you like what you hear, then I would love for you to review the podcast on iTunes and, encourage your guests, encourage other people to be able to listen to this, life-changing reality program. So go ahead, Ilona, tell them what they're going to be getting. And what I would like you guys to do is, go on to your iTunes, look for the Transform Your Mind with Coach Myrna podcast, give a review, and then you can go to Ilona's website and download the free app. and
Yeah.
that would be, she would tell you how to do it.
So
Okay.
that's okay. So you get your pen and pencils ready because these are going to be 2 addresses. I would like you, Myrna. I would still not know where to go on my podcast to review you. Maybe I'm listening to it and I'm already there, but I just want to hear you say it again. Can you do that?
Okay, sure. It's on iTunes when you look for Transform Your Mind with Coach Myrna. And
Coach,
with
and
Coach
how do
Myrna,
you spell
yes.
his name?
Myrna.
Okay.
But so
all
you
right.
can either put in Coach Myrna, it will come up. If you put in Transform Your Mind, it will come up. So.
Okay. Oh, good. Easy. Okay. Now,
Thanks.
I'm going to give away, yes, because one of the things that I know is when I'm on radio shows or I listen to something on the flyby, even while I'm typing, I'm going, what was that? And I don't know how to rewind, and it's gone. So it's better for me to do it. Now I'm going to tell you the website where you can download the app for free. And I want you to get a pen and paper just because it's easier for you to remember. If you want to start your day with positive focus, and be supported, I'll do that for you for free. I'll do that in the morning, every morning with you, with my more meditative voice and with much more sing-song in my voice. And also, if you want to end your day on a good note, come with me on this journey, Living from Vision. It's called the Living from Vision Lite app. It's available both on Google and Android. And here's my address where you get it for free. Get ready. It's my name, Ilona Selke, Ilona, 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 continued on, no dots, nothing, S like in star, ELKE.com, IlonaSelke.com. And when you go there, you can sign up for the free app, and you can download it. It'll tell you where to download it from and give you the button for Apple or Android, and you get it right into your phone. So go look for my website. Best if you look at up right on your phone, type in www.ilonaselke.com, ILONA, S like in star, ELKE.com. And that's it, free app. And if you get my book, Dream Big, The Universe is Listening, it will also give you the directions of how to get the app, and you have all my names and all that in there. It's Dream Big, The Universe is Listening.
Awesome. Well, listen, this has been a very inspirational, high energy interview. We came out of the gate running like some racehorses, so I loved it. So we're out of time right now, but Ilona is going to be back next week, and we are going to talk about how to find your soulmate. So be sure to tune in for that, and so because you don't want to miss it. You know, you might be dreaming. Right.
Yeah, but not only how to manifest them, what to do when you're with them, and I'm going to share people how to have sex out of body.
Oh, wow.
Oh. That should get everybody listening.
Yes, the men are going to come knocking now, too.
Yep, it works.
Not just the women. Oh, that is awesome. Well, Ilona, it has been an absolute pleasure. I definitely will go and not only get the free app, but I'm also going to download your book, Dream Big, The Universe is Listening. I'm going to download it on Kindle. So that's great. So I can, jumpstart my training to bend reality.
And you know what? Right. Actually, you know what I'm going to do for you? I mean, and I'll offer this for anybody who wants to go to my online platform. It's ilonaselke.online. I have lots of different online courses on there. And I'm going to give you the Living from Vision course. It's a 5-week training course.
Wow.
But I'm going to give the listeners a trick. If you go to ilonaselke.online, ilonaselke.online, look for Living from Vision, just the part 1. It's only $69. It walks you through. It's a lot of training, guided meditations, exercises, reading, everything. And it's only $69, but at the end of it, when you are done and you've actually done all the exercises, you get a coupon, $100 off for the whole 5-week training.
Oh, wow.
But that way you test drive it, you know what you're doing, $69, Living from Vision part 1. So that's available at Ilona Selke, ILONASELKE.online. And I'm going to give the whole course for you for free, so you can do it for 5 weeks and practice it if you want.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I would love
What
that.
Do you think?
I appreciate
Yes.
that. Yes.
It's a value of $345. So this is phenomenal. I mean, I have so many people around the world literally having manifested total miracles in their lives. So yes, this is a recipe that works.
Great. Well, I'm on it. Okay,
Yes.
Ilona. Well, thank you so much for spending the time with me today. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. So we're going to see you right here on WDJY 99.1 FM next week, same time. Or you can download the podcast, Transform Your Mind. It's available iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and now on iHeartRadio. So I'm very proud of that. You can listen to it at anywhere. So we'll talk soon. Thanks again, Ilona, and namaste.
Namaste.